the grounds of West Deptford High School in West Deptford, New Jersey, Comcast presents the South Jersey Group 2 Championship game as tonight the West Deptford Eagles host the Overbrook Rams. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner, Shawn, Leary. Well, every team since August is geared up for this moment, the high school championship game, and it's down to just two teams in Group 2, Overbrook and West Deptford. Both of these teams have cleared hurdles throughout the way. West Deptford comes into this one undefeated. Head coach Clyde Folsom had a lot of planning to do for this game. In addition to hosting the game and clearing off the field, of course, he'll have to take on a potent Overbrook attack. Both of these teams excited about South Jersey Championship football. Both of these teams excited about playing Monday Night Football.
Yeah, this is really exciting. It was almost like last year, but just a little different. Last year, West Deptford pushed the game back because of the snow, because of inclement weather. We have the same thing here on Monday Night Football. It's just a little darker, that's all. This year, West Deptford comes in as the favorite in Group 2, and certainly they have earned that right. They have played outstanding football this season.
Well, for Overbrook, just so many talented players on a team that is senior-laden, but they are led by Frank Wilczynski. He is probably the best athlete on this Overbrook team.
That's exactly right, Rob. They got this guy playing quarterback, and he can do a little bit of everything. He can run the option. He has a big-time arm. They really are going to need to play good team defense, West Deptford, if they're going to have to stop this guy. No one's been able to this year. He's put up incredible numbers, and he's the reason Overbrook has led back to a resurgence of when they were in 1998, Group 4 champions. They're back in the big show.
Well, you talk about incredible numbers, then you have to talk about West Deptford's Tom Walls. He's Boston College bound. He leads all of South Jersey in scoring, and he is going to be someone that this Overbrook defense is going to have a tough time with this evening.
Well, sometimes you'll see in college, you'll see a guy and you'll say, wow, I wish I would have seen him in high school. That's what you're getting the opportunity here. Tom Walls is an incredible football player. Going to Boston College, going to play linebacker, they say over there, has a chance to possibly start next year. So this guy is a Division I prospect who has all the legitimacy of playing a great football game in another big game, Group 2 championship. He was the reason they won the Group 2 championship last year, a major factor last year. Expect Tom Walls to be a major factor in the outcome of tonight's game.
Well, tonight I spoke to Clyde Folsom. He said that this town has become a football town. They've been so successful. The community is abuzz with tonight. The South Jersey Championship game, sub-freezing temperatures, snow-covered field. You can't ask for more on a beautiful Monday night. Stick around. We'll have the kickoff for you right after this. Welcome back to West Deptford High School. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary here in West Deptford, New Jersey. South Jersey Group 2 Championship game ready to get underway. Shawn, we've seen a little bit of everything. This game has been postponed on a number of counts. Tonight, before we hit the air, at least before we hit the beginning of the game where we are right now, they had a blackout. The lights were out for approximately half an hour, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that we'll get the entire game in this evening.
Yeah, that was me. I just wanted to see the beginning of the Sixers game tonight. So I figured I'd pull the plug, take in a little bit of the Sixers. Yeah, it was a little strange. All of a sudden, everything went black. You almost think like, this game is either it's going to be a great game or it's going to be a blowout. I'm hoping it's going to be a great game because last year, great atmosphere last season. West Deptford winning against Buhner right here on this field. And West Deptford fans are hoping for the same outcome with the Eagles on top.
Well, it should be fun. Overbrook, again, coming into this game off a losing record, and we are underway. Back to receive, it's Overbrook at about their 8-yard line. Plenty of field, right up the gut, right down, one man to beat, still on his feet. Brought down is Ryan Wolf by the kicker, Jake Brownell. What a great start for Overbrook here.
Well, that's the Touchdown Club Special Teams Player of the Year, Jake Brownell, and everyone talks about his foot, but he saved a touchdown there with a great open field tackle.
Well, West Deptford seemingly has the advantage in so many different areas, and it's special teams that may be the variable that will keep Overbrook in this game throughout. First down and 10 here for the Rams. Frank Wilczynski, the quarterback. You see a potent force for the Rams. Pitch goes out, and stringing things out for West Deptford. Absolutely no gain.
That's what they're going to need, some containment. Ron Wilson, one of the defensive ends, along with Liberto. Both those guys have good speed on the ends. They'll try to contain that Rams offense.
Well, there you see the Rams offense. Stanley Lomax, Frank Hale's a good one. Josh Coates, Justin Stippick, excellent hands at the wide receiver spot, and Dan McDonald. Moresby, Morrell, Sachs, Musick, and Naylor, your offensive line for the Overbrook Rams. 2nd down and 10. Quick hitter up the middle. Gain of maybe 2 yards. Not much doing there. And as you hit the heart of that West Deptford defense led by that big man, Tom Walls. Don Lamberto, Josh Nevitt, Lonnie Robertson, CJ Marina, Ron Wilson. Tom Walls, Ed Denisi, Anthony Scarrato, Ryan Wolf, Jake Brownell, and Tariq Howell, your defense for the Eagles. 3rd down now for the Overbrook Rams.
The lineup had you all choked up.
It did. A little end around to Wolf. Wolf stringing it outside on his feet, cut down after a gain of about 6. And the Rams will be forced to punt. So it'll be 3 and out here for Overbrook.
Yeah, they're just trying to get something to the outside, looking for some open space. Nice job here defensively. Good block on Walls, but a nice tackle there, number 1. That's Ryan Wolf coming up on the play, 5'10", 180 junior, making a nice defensive play.
Wilczynski, the punter, don't be surprised if you see a fake before the night's out, and he will angle it towards the sideline, and that ball will stop like one of Shawn's wedge shots. 1st down and 10 here for the Eagles.
Looks like Blake Smith, 5'9", 170, sophomore, came on the outside corner, nearly got a piece of that. Now Anthony Scarrato will take over for West Deptford. What a great year he's had.
Well, you know, when I spoke to head coach Mitch Brown of Overbrook before the game, he kept going on and on about Scarrato, saying that he was far more concerned about Scarrato than he was Tom Walls. 1st down and 10 for the Eagles. Pinned back deep in their own end. Scarrato, he'll string it out. Looking for some room, and still on his feet. He'll pick up a couple, but not a whole lot there for this West Deptford offense.
Scarrato's got great speed on the outside.
He's got a great supporting cast too. Dave Maxwell, Cordell Young, who started as a freshman, Tom Walls, we've spoken about, Tariq Howell, also very talented, and Fran Malloy, an excellent tight end. Scott Donikoff, Don Lamberto, Frank Mullen, Lonnie Robertson, and Ron Wilson round out your offensive line.
They've come together very nicely, and you know, Clyde Folsom will tell you they have all these nice backs with good speed, and mixed with Tom Walls in there, Scarrato throwing the ball through the air. However, it starts with the offensive line, and they've done a terrific job this year, gelling pretty early en route to what is right now an undefeated season.
Well, really, our hats off to this entire West Deptford crew, getting this field in shape for tonight's game. Scarrato will hand it off. It's Walls into the secondary. Tom Walls pulling his way forward. A big 1st down for the Boston College-bound senior.
What I like about Walls here, and you'll see it, he hits the hole quick. And he's a big guy. Nice, probably going to play linebacker in college. Watch how he hits this hole right here. Burst through the hole. Couple of nice blocks there and just find some open space. But you'll see him turn what looks like nothing into something because he hits the hole quick, and then he has good speed to make good decisions, either to go in, cut out.
Shawn, Tom Walls is a great runner, but you could have got a 1st down on that play. Tom Walls again into the secondary, still on his feet. Another pickup of about 13. Tom Walls kicking it into overdrive early here. Head coach Clyde Folsom said the one thing that you have to understand about Tom Walls is that he always steps up in the big games. Here's your defensive line: Keith Shaw, Mitch Morrell, Dan McDonald, Brandon Musick, and Bill Herron. A very undersized defensive line for Overbrook, and we've seen that already. Frank Hales, Mark Pfeiffer, Justin Stippick, Shawn Maws, Frank Wilczynski, and Joe Supp. Your secondary. 1st and 10. West Deptford already into Overbrook territory. Walls again with the carry with about 4 yards for a 2nd down. And if you can pick up 4 yards every time with that big guy, you have to be pleased.
Well, they're doing a real nice job on the interior of the line. Lonnie Robinson, Frank Mullen, Don Liberto. Those guys are doing an excellent job, and 2 of those guys are juniors who will be back next year. They'll be losing Ron Wilson, Dom Liberto, but 3 of those offensive linemen will return as seniors next season.
One thing people don't understand about this West Deptford team is they have a lot of juniors. They may be even better next year. The one person they will miss, of course, is that man with the football, Tom Walls.
And that's a good example right now of that explosiveness at the line. Tom Walls getting a full head of steam very quickly, moving north and south, upfield, picks up about 5 or 6 yards on that play.
Shawn, you know, we've spoken about this so many times, but it's just amazing to me. We saw Tom Walls as a freshman basketball player, about 5'7", $140. He has certainly blossomed into more than a man. 3rd and 1. Again, no surprise. Tom Walls into the secondary, still on his feet. Tom Walls carrying tacklers. First down, Eagles.
But right now, they're just running straight through the Overbrook defense. And it's starting with the offensive line, but once you give it to this guy, as I said, see that little hole? Tom Walls is a big guy and fits through that little hole, and that's just because of his explosiveness, that first step that he takes upfield. And of course, once he gets into that open field, coming up against the secondary, I'll take my chances with Tom Walls.
Credit Cordell Young with a good lead block to create a seam, and Tom Walls doesn't need a whole lot to find yardage. Again, Tom Walls, he is just taking over now for West Deptford early in this first quarter.
Just punishing guys. There's Shawn Moss, 5'7", 150. A defensive back has to come up. You'll see him number 3 there. He's not very big. Coming up and have to tackle a guy like Walls, that's not a very good advantage if you're on the side of Overbrook.
Well, when you're Tom Walls, 6'3", 250, you see those undersized guys, you're licking your chops.
Certainly. And that's what he's been doing all year long. Just running over guys, running around guys. He is the total package.
Well, one of the few things, of course, that can stop West Deptford is themselves. And as long as they stay penalty-free, West Deptford may have their way with this undersized Overbrook line.
Now, let's give some credit to some other guys, too. They're coming up a little short. Talk about Tom Walls, but you said it. Cordell Young, he's the best blocker on this team coming out of the backfield without bar none. I mean, this guy can really lay some blocks, knocks guys over, opens those holes. That's one of the reasons Walls has been able to become one of the top rushers in South Jersey, the scoring leader, and one of the area's top rushers.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I mean, as a running back, you realize you can't do it yourself. You need a potent offensive line, and you need a teammate who's willing to give up some of his personal stats for you, and that's exactly what Cordell Young does. 2nd down and very short. Anthony Scarrato again will hand off inside to Tom Walls, and Tom Walls is stopped, but not before picking up another first down, and this drive has been nothing short of efficient. Already at the 10-yard line here for West Deptford.
Well, that's that guy's last high school game as far as regular competition. He might play in an all-star game or 2, but Tom Walls is certainly laying it all out on the field today. Heavy dose of number 4 here early on. But again, you're talking about Cordell Young. We were saying about his blocking. He'll get his chance in the next couple of years. He's just a sophomore. And this goes to show you don't need to be a very big guy to be a great blocker. 5'8", 170. The sophomore is without a doubt their best blocker. One of the best blockers that you're going to see around.
Pitch, Walls to the 10, the 5 on his feet. Knocked down inside the 5-yard line.
It's a rare carry to the outside. Nice job by Folsom coming in with a game plan, saying we're going to run and pound the football inside. West Deptford has a little bit bigger line than Overbrook, very oversized and overmatched. And that could spell a lot of trouble for Overbrook. They're going to need to really dig in here and use their speed to get to the ball.
Ball spotted at the 5-yard line. 2nd down and 5. Scarrato again with Walls in the backfield. Split right. It's Tariq Howe. Hand off Walls. Walls running over people again. And he just explodes into that line of Overbrook. 3rd down now. One of the rare series where West Deptford's had to go 3 downs.
Looked like Keith Shaw was in on that play, defensive end, 6'2", 175 senior. That just goes to show you, 175 defensive end, very undersized. compared to what West Deptford has on the opposite side when they line up defensively. 225 Ron Wilson, so you can see the difference in defensive ends. This team's very small.
Handoff Walls. Walls pushing forward, fumbles the football. Tom Walls fumbles the ball. He does fall on it, though. A big break here for West Deptford. Overbrook, somebody just laid a helmet, and we may see that. It's a very, very crisp evening, so holding on to the football may be difficult tonight. And it'll bring up Clyde Folsom's first decision of the evening. Do you go for it, or do you kick the field goal here?
We're going to see. Somebody flies in from West Deptford and a nice stick at the goal line. Stands him up, gets low. That's the reason why Tom Walls doesn't get into the end zone. He gets low. Looks like ball was laying out there for a little bit for Overbrook to take, but that's what you need, the speed, stay low, and that just goes to show you for all the young players out there, if you stay low, you're going to be able to bring down a big horse like Tom Walls.
Well, Tom Walls, you can see, he certainly had to put out quite a bit of work here, and essentially have an extra point here, and there's not too many sure things in high school football, but your kicker for West Deptford, Jake Brownell, is about as close as it gets. The holder, Anthony Scarrato. Placement's down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So West Deptford breaks out on front, on top, 3-0 here, 3:47 left. First quarter, South Jersey Group 2 Championship. Welcome back to West Deptford High School. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary. 3-0, West Deptford on top. Jake Brownell set to kick off again. Wolf back to receive, and Wolf drops the football, picks it up at his 10, on his feet again. Wolf with an excellent return despite dropping the football. Overbrook starts 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
And we're going to see this play again defensively. I think it's Mark Pfeiffer who's going to come up. Number 28, get a good look at him. He's going to come up, get low, and make the hit, forcing the fumble. And the ball's on the ground. No one's going to grab it there.
And actually,
so Walls is able to get a hold of it. But that's a nice tackle for a young player to come up underneath of a guy like Walls, and you're going to see, you're going to hold him right there. If you get lower, doesn't matter who you're going up against, you're going to stick.
That was actually Frank Wilczynski who accidentally tucked the ball underneath Tom Walls, allowing him to recover his own fumble. Stoppage on the field, and we're going to have our first penalty.
5-yard face mask against Green.
So 5-yard penalty assessed here against the Eagles. That'll bring up a short second down for the Rams.
Repeat first down.
Actually, they're going to repeat first down as a result of the foul. So good throwing opportunity here for Overbrook. We'll see if Mitch Brown, the head coach of Overbrook, rolls the dice, puts the ball in the air. They don't. Stay on the ground, and that'll be enough for a first down. Overbrook's first of the evening. Ball carried there by Mike Pfeiffer. He's not really their go-to guy. It's Frank Hales that'll typically get the bulk of carries for this Overbrook team.
Hales with 908 yards, or 884 net yards, a 5.1 average. So he has gotten the bulk of their carries. Wilczynski will tuck it down. Very nice option quarterback. He's a threat a la Scarrato.
Pfeiffer's a wrestler, really tore his knee up last year, unable to play, served as a manager on the team. Someone who has really illustrated his dedication to the team. Head coach Mitch Brown talked time and time again about how many of his seniors are really the reason why they've been so successful. 16 seniors, he said every single one of them is extraordinarily dedicated, and it's because of that that Overbrook really has overachieved.
Yeah, they've had a terrific year, and kind of a surprise in the Tri-County Royal Division. People are talking possibly lost to Catholic or Clearview, but Overbrook really came to the forefront, being that third team in that Royal.
Once again, right up the gut. And that'll be very close to a first down. Looks to be about half a yard shy. So a third down here for the Rams.
Now Pfeiffer, he's known as a hard hitter. So coming in, making a stick like that, his teammates are used to him making plays. And again, that was a big play down there by the goal line to force West Deptford to kick the field goal and negate them from running down their throats because they were really pushing into the end zone. Big carries from Tom Walls and a nice defensive, almost like a moral victory for him on that first defensive possession.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Tom Walls really took over the football game during that drive, and it looked like there was no stopping him. But of course, 3 straight plays, and finally able to hold up the Tom Walls show. So ball is short here, a 3rd down for the Rams. The Rams and the Eagles on Monday Night Football here tonight.
That's big. Right now it's pretty big. The Eagles doing what they're doing. Of course, we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles joking around. What a great year they're having, huh?
Absolutely. St. Louis Rams are having a pretty good year, too.
Not bad, but they're second best.
3rd down, and it's going to be Wilczynski. He is held up. It'll be very, very close to a 1st down. It will depend on the spot. Let's see if he gets that left foot or the right foot spot. That's always the question. Got the left foot. That bodes well for the Rams.
There was a good push to the left. I don't think he got low enough on the play. Go ahead.
Talk Monday Night Football. We were joking about the St. Louis Rams. Of course, the Overbrook Rams tonight, but the St. Louis Rams also on Monday Night Football tonight.
That's right, against the Cleveland Browns. Who's your pick?
I guess the Rams.
It's a good pick, I guess. First down.
1st down and 10.
Now watch Wilczynski here. He's going to go to the left, go over his left guard, his left tackle. They get a nice push there. And it looks like he might not even got a very favorable spot. One thing that he did wrong in that play, he didn't get low enough. He kind of stood himself up. And again, keep going back to that. Once the defender gets low and underneath you, he's going to drive you backward.
Well, Dom Liberta is tough to get low on. 5'9", 200 pounds. One of the many talented seniors for West Deptford. 1st down and 10. It's Wolf again on that split end reverse. So Wolf, just a junior, 5'10", 180 pounds.
Nice job by Wolf coming up, making the tackle. But here you see Stipik here, just going behind number 57. It's Shawn Blurkin doing a nice job on the corner, sealing that corner, and allowing Stipik to turn upfield. He's getting recruited by Wagner Kane, Rowan, Wagner Temple.
You know, one of the great things for these West Deptford players, and for Overbrook as well, when you're on a winning team, you always have coaches coming out to see you. It's a great opportunity to be discovered. Carry up the middle. That, again, will be very close to the 1st down. From here, it looks like he's got it. You know, I think Overbrook has to feel good right now about this drive after being manhandled on the defensive end. It was important for them to generate some momentum.
Right. Yeah, you're exactly right. You see the West Deptford fans having a great time here tonight. Nice crowd. So you can see the snow, the outside track. The field a little banged up in the middle there, a little muddy.
Got the diamond.
They did a pretty nice job. They did
a page out of the baseball groundskeeping manual. Inside handoff and just nothing doing here for Overbrook.
Yeah, Hales might have slipped on that play. Looks like he tried to cut it back to the left. Lost his footing. And right around the middle of that field, that's where it gets a little slippery. There you can see the muddy field. There's a couple slick spots down there. We may see a couple of times guys going down, especially in the kicking game. That could become somebody punting. That could become very, very instrumental and possibly a turnover later in this game. They see Clyde Folsom.
Wilczynski back to pass, has time, throws it across the middle, hangs it up, picked off. An ill-advised pass by Frank Wilczynski is picked off here by West Deptford's Anthony Scarrato. So one quarterback steals it away from the other, and the Overbrook drive is put to a halt.
Well, he's an outstanding athlete, Anthony Scarrato, and his name will just get bigger and bigger for his career. He just makes sure that he gets underneath of it and brings the interception in for his football team. Doesn't try to get too fancy and maybe return one on a slick field. Make sure that he just goes up and get it. Wilczynski's going to roll out here, looking for his wide receiver in the interception.
We head to break. West Deptford on top, by 3. Welcome back to West Deptford High School. We start the second quarter. West Deptford on top on the strength of a Jake Brownell field goal, 3-0. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary. South Jersey Group 2 championship game. And a very quick first quarter, but one that really illustrated some of what we expected to see, particularly from the West Deptford point of view. Tom Walls, and some more Tom Walls.
Yeah, they were just running in between the tackles, using the big guy to get behind some of those good blockers that West Deptford has right now, and taking advantage of a small Overbrook line.
Scarrato takes around and looking to go outside. He'll pick up about 3 yards. So Scarrato doing some of what he does best, utilizing that speed. Scarrato, just a junior, but don't be surprised if he too, another Division I talent out of this West Deptford program. Likely we'll see his time as someone out of the secondary after high school.
Yeah, he's certainly going to get some really good looks. Also an outstanding baseball player. I'm not sure exactly what his sport's going to be. Nice job on that play by Overbrook. Keith Shaw, that 6'3", 175 defensive end we were talking about earlier.
Second down and 7 now, a gain of 3 on that first play. Handoff, and now we get to see a little bit of what West Deptford features, and that is mixing things up. This time it's Dave Maxwell.
Yeah, just a junior, will return next year and be certainly a guy who will get some recognition next year. This guy's done a nice job for the last couple of years. Dave Maxwell, real quiet guy, has a lot of speed on the outside, but also can pound it in. Kind of the guy that doesn't get all the headlines all the time, just does the job.
Well, you hate to say it's a big play, but we're just in the second quarter. This is a huge play for the Overbrook defense. They really need to illustrate some defensive wares here. Scarrato rolls out, gets a rush, shakes off one tackler, cuts it back inside. Scarrato on his feet, and he'll be cut down very close to a first down. He fumbles the football, but it is ruled down.
I don't know. I think this might come back. He might not be able to get the first down. He's going to roll out here. And this shows you what type of athlete he is. He's going to shake a tackler here, cuts upfield, pulls away from the defender, and runs back inside. He's going to lose the football here. I don't know if he was down or not.
It's hard to see from that angle.
But with that, brings up a 4th down, and now they're going to be forced to punt with Jake Brownell coming onto the field.
Jake Brownell, the punter. Again, very short here. And back to receive. Overbrook setting up for the punt. Good snap. Brownell gets it away. And Overbrook will simply allow it to bounce. They'll end up with very good field position as the ball is down at about their 43-yard line. First down and 10 for the Rams of Overbrook.
That's got to give the Rams some confidence coming off the field, forcing West Deptford to go 3 and out here. And you know, these field conditions, this is going to make this game closer than maybe what it could have been. West Deptford, it seems like they had more talent on paper, the bigger offensive line. They should have been able to dominate the run game. However, with a bad field, that makes every game closer in all South Jersey games. We'll talk about the 4 Gloucester County teams that are vying for a South Jersey title, which has never been done in the history of high school football, having the same team from this county. So with all 4 games, it's going to be very interesting to see who's going to come out on top because of the field conditions. Going to make them a little closer. It negates the speed of one team. In this case, West Deptford with great talent. Slows the game down.
Second down now for Overbrook after the pickup of about 6. Lipczynski's gone to the air once. It was picked off. And pickup of about 3. The ball carrier for Overbrook was Frank Hales, who again we expect to see a lot of this evening. He'll be just shy of that first down.
He just missed it now. It's going to be 3rd and probably 1.
Well,
third year, Mitch Brown, 15 and 16.
That actually is not Mitch
That's
Brown,
not
but
him, but yeah.
Mitch Brown in his 3rd year.
But you had somebody who knows him though.
He's done a tremendous job here at Overbrook.
Looks like Anthony Scarrato is coming off the field now. Might have an injury, little blood time. We're close to wrestling season. We're into it. I know some coaches right now. Can't wait to get some of these athletes on the court.
Actually, I was talking to Gary Worthington, head coach of Eastern's wrestling program. He said, you know, these games keep getting pushed back. Florence is going to be playing on Saturday, and obviously that's a concern for the winter sports. And I know he said that he's going to give some of his players a few days off, and that's obviously going to be the case probably throughout South Jersey for these teams in the championship games. Short third down here. Wilczynski will hand off, and plenty here. Still on his feet, cutting it back inside is big Frank Hales. You know, we say big because he's 5'11", 190, but you know, he really packs a punch. He's more apt to run you over despite the size of 5'11". Again, here we got 8 men in the box, and anytime that happens, you can cut through that line. You're going to have a huge gain and find yourself in the secondary in no time, and that's what happened.
Linemen pick up those defensive linebackers. Denisi there. Too close to the line of scrimmage. When you got those guys up at the line and you're able to break through, then it's just you in the secondary, and that's what happened there. Hales breaks into the secondary. Nice chunky yardage for him, and they're knocking on the door.
First down and 10. Wilczynski fakes the pitch, cuts it back inside. Excellent footwork, Wilczynski. He'll pick up about 9.
Great fake there. Terrific fake. Really fooled C.J. Marina, the defensive tackle there.
There you see Mitch Brown, the head coach of Overbrook. Again, a longtime assistant and a phenomenal wrestler during his high school career. Here you see Wilczynski. Look how close that this looks to be a negative turnabout. But again, the quickness of Wilczynski, able to elude the on-rushing C.J. Marina, and it turns into a big game. Again, Wilczynski, quick pitch, outside, plenty of room here. And finally knocked out of bounds is Stanley Lomax.
Those two plays right there, things that you'll see in a quarterback that makes a good quarterback into a great quarterback. Little things that they can do and work on by themselves to become the above average player. Wilczynski, with the great fake, is able to turn it upfield, get 9 yards. They're a quick pitch, and that's just working with your running back. Getting that pitch out there and having the confidence to get it out in a hurry, that just allows your running back that much more time. In a game that only, you know, it's a split second whether you're going to be able to get to the outside or be tackled. Nice job by Wilczynski again.
A long drive here for Overbrook. Wilczynski holds on, cuts it back inside. Good decision by Wilczynski. He'll pick up about half a dozen.
We gave a lot of credit to the West Deptford offensive line doing their drive, but right now Overbrook and their offensive line is doing a terrific job putting some helmets on the West Deptford defenders, and it's just all about speed. If you can get that footwork to work for you and push your defender, you're going to give your running back some open space.
Second down. And power formation here for Overbrook. Wilczynski, he'll hold on to it, cuts it back inside, and he'll be stood up. Not much there as he meets C.J. Marina.
Marina says, you fooled me once, you're not going to fool me here. I'm going to lay you out this time. Marina does a nice job of standing him up and making sure Wilczynski can't get out to the outside. Here you see, nice job right there. That's number 55 doing a job holding on, allowing his friends to come up and do a little cleanup work on him.
C.J. Marina came up with the tackle there, Shawn, but you really have to credit that as a team tackle because West Deptford really strung that out well, and Wilczynski had nowhere to go.
And that's just footwork. Getting to the outside, not allowing those offensive linemen to get out there and make the kick-out blocks. Of course, this guy can run it with the best of them, Wilczynski.
Third down, Wilczynski. Play action pass, setting it up. Far corner of the end zone, has a man. Incomplete. I tell you what, you have to credit Tariq Howell because he stayed home on that play. And that's a play that you see work in high school all so often. You draw the defense over, and many times high school players trying to do a little bit more than what they need to, but Tariq Howell stayed home and really made the difference.
And cross backfield, Wilczynski's going to throw it up here. Tariq Howell, you're right, doing a nice job of staying home and defending on the play. He's definitely one of the best pass defenders in the Colonial Conference.
Well, Overbrook has really no kicking game to speak of, and as a result, you're talking 4-down territory almost every single time they are in West Deptford's end. 4th down and 5, Wilczynski. Two running backs. He'll sprint out. Has some room. Throws against his body. Has a man. And it is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Dan McDonald, his tight end.
Nice job by Scarrato getting over and defending on the play. He was all over McDonald. Terrific play by the West Deptford defense in holding there. Overbrook going away from the run, passing on its last 2 downs. You always wonder with a 2nd and 5, why even go to the air?
Well, McDonald, one of their best players, an all-group performer. Very quick, very strong, and this is a night where it's very tough to hold on to the football. Break here, it's Tom Walls. And now Overbrook's starting to figure it out. You can't tackle Tom Walls up top. You got to go low.
Yeah, you have no shot if you go high on Tom Walls. He'll make you pay for it, too. Overbrook right now, they don't get the touchdown to score, but that's all they want to do is hang into this game, give themselves the opportunity to win. They had a terrific come-from-behind win against Clearview, in which they scored in the final minute to win that game. This team has been under pressure at some points in time during the season. They know how to come from behind. They just want to stay in this game. They see what a terrific record Clyde Folsom has amassed the last couple of years.
There's the handoff, a lot of room. Well into the secondary, and finally we see Cordell Young do his thing. Cordell Young, starting as a freshman, now of course a sophomore, 5'8", 170 pounds. What he brings to this offense is tremendous speed, and here he illustrates it.
Well, offensive line, you got to give them the credit for this one because there's no one in sight. They do a terrific play fake, get everyone running one way. Everyone does their job on the line, and Cordell Young, the sophomore, who everyone's been talking about for the last couple of years, cousins with Brett Holmes, who played here from 1997 to 2000, has a lot of talent.
Scarrato hands off again this time. It looks like it's going to be Maxwell. Not much there. Overbrook defense keeping him honest. Pickup of about 2, 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Cordell Young, I give out these sheets ahead of time to find out something about the kids, and he said who is his favorite athlete? The Shawn Foster of the Carolina Panthers, because he's a powerful runner and very fast. And this is a guy, if you're talking to Shawn, a lot of guys are going to say Barry Sanders, Marshall Faulk. You can tell this is a guy who studies football, who knows the sport, who's going to look at runners and see what they do differently and study the game. When a guy picks the Shawn Foster, unless he's cousins with him or knows him somehow, that's a guy who really knows the game, really looks at the game.
2nd down. Scarrato back to pass. Wolf defending against Hal, throws it up, and who comes down with it? Still wrestling, and it is now ruled Hal comes down with the football.
Yeah, he had it. He definitely had it. Stippick came over, but he didn't have possession of the football. Tariq Hal came down with it, and the defender's just going to put his hands on it. But here's Scarrato. He's just going to drop back and throw it up. When you have talent like this on the outside, like Tariq Hal, that's what you're able to do. Put the ball up and let the offensive wide receiver go for the football. Comes down with it. Tariq Hal, excellent play. He's got 4.40 speed. And there he blows his first man, gets into the secondary, and Stippick unable to come down with it.
Again, another handoff here. Stippick, I said Ryan Wolf, I misspoke. Justin Stippick had excellent coverage. And again, it came down to a wrestling match. You have to call it a draw, but in football, when you have that, typically the possession arrow, if you will, is going to go the offensive way.
That goes with the offensive player always when you have dual possession. Goes with the receiver. At that time, I think he had the ball regardless. Coming down with it, Stippick just puts his hands on it, basically. Great play by Tariq Hal.
2nd down again, the end around. And into the secondary, more than enough for the 1st down.
And that play by Tariq Hal, that's just want and desire. You go down the field with blazing speed like he has, and you're just going up and throwing your body up into the air, coming up with the football and making a big play for your team. Now they're trying to get to the outside. Here you can see Cordell Young trying to find some holes, moves around a little bit. They were pounding the ball early on with Tom Walls. Now they're going to the outside, trying to use their speed.
Timeout is called here by the Overbrook Rams, and with 2:47 left in the first half of the South Jersey Group 2 Championship game, West Deptford leads 3-0. Welcome back to West Deptford High School. Overbrook calling a timeout, really trying to stop some of the momentum of this West Deptford team. 2:47 left. West Deptford driving once again. Handoff. It's Walls. Walls cuts it outside, still on his feet, and he is driven out of bounds.
They're really king on Walls right now, and that's why Clyde Folsom went to Maxwell and Young, kind of break it up a little bit, throw the pass to Tariq Howe. That Overbrook defense right now, and well they should, making sure that number 4 just doesn't pound them all night long into submission. You're gonna see here Walls gonna get to the ball. He sees there's no room on the inside. He's gonna cut outside. Throws a little stiff arm there, and Overbrook just doing a nice job of getting outside and making sure he doesn't go anywhere.
Scarrato rolls, a lot of room outside. Scarrato on his feet, cuts it inside. Spin move, Scarrato in for the touchdown. Anthony Scarrato on the 13-yard bootleg puts West Deptford on top, 9-0.
Well, he's been doing that the entire year. He just has so many moves that he can use on the outside. The spin, the cutback. Throws himself into the end zone. In the last couple of games, he's really taken over. It's been the Tom Walsh show up for the last couple of years, but Anthony Scarrato is really showing that he will be a force not only in this game, but in the next year to come.
Brownell finishes the deal, putting West Deptford on top now, 10-0. Well, West Deptford able to take advantage here, and I'm sure, I believe we have a penalty flag on the field. Looks like this will be assessed after, excuse me, on the kickoff. Yep. Looks to be a roughing the kicker. Let's go down to our referee.
We have a 5-yard penalty against the defense for running into the kicker. That penalty would be assessed on the kickoff.
What a great run here we're going to see by Anthony Scarrato. You know, against Paulsboro, he had a couple of great touchdowns, some great moves that propelled them to a win. And here you're going to see he's just waiting for his blocker to set up there. Nice block by number 56, and then it's just spinning around, throwing himself into the end zone, putting his team on top. But again, a great block by Liberto, 5'9", 200, getting to the outside, not only taking out one guy, he essentially takes out 2 guys in the play, setting up that touchdown run. But it's all set up by Anthony Scarrato. Instead of running out there, going full speed, going with the chicken out without the head thing, he just waits for his blocker to come into the play, then cuts upfield, nice spin move, and 6 points.
You're absolutely right. You described it perfectly. Again, the great vision of Scarrato, the anticipation and the patience pay off in a touchdown. West Deptford now on top, 10-0. Brownell will kick. It's been Stipik who's returned the last 2, and he's done a nice job. Well, Overbrook will need good field position here with just 2:31 left.
He might not be able to return this one, but he's got better than a 24-yard average. This is going to be on offsides. Because at first it looked like they were following the play there. Yeah, you're not in the end zone. I know it's hard to see with the snow, but they're going to bring this back. But Stipik's got 24 yards per attempt on his kickoff return. So this guy, we seen him in the first play from play of the game, had a nice return, almost broke one.
Well, you see, there's Lomax, a 6-foot senior, also with excellent speed for this Overbrook team. It seems as though Brownell has purposely gone towards Stipik, but he has made them pay, at least putting Overbrook in very good field position the first 2 times. Brownell, really, you know, when you look at these two teams, relatively evenly matched. I think West Deptford typically getting the edge in most areas, but a slight edge. But if there's one area that stands out, it's the kicking game. Brownell, one of the best kickers in South Jersey versus an Overbrook team that essentially has no kicking game.
And it's so important right now in high school football, especially this year. We're seeing so many good kickers out there. When you're put at a disadvantage in the third part of the game, that really helps out a team like West Deptford.
Stipik sees a seam. He's down the sideline, knocked out of bounds by Brownell. But once again, Justin Stipik putting Overbrook in excellent position.
Well, I don't know if they're going to kick it over to Stipik again, because that's the second return that he's almost broken one for a score. Here he's just going to set up his blockers. The wedge opens up for him, and he's going to burst to the outside. And this, all it is good vision and good speed. When you combine those two on a kickoff return, you're going to be a danger and a threat to return one. And Stipik puts his team in decent field position here in West Deptford territory.
Excellent field position, 48-yard line. 2 minutes and 23 seconds remain in this first half. Overbrook really needs to get onto the scoreboard here before the first half. Shotgun formation, Wilczynski will just sprint draw right out. Cut it back inside, staying on his feet, dancing, and he'll pick up about 7 or 8 yards.
So you should see him get a few carries in this thing. You know, when you're down 10-0, you want the ball in your best player's hand, and that's Wilczynski, the quarterback. Try to get him to make a couple of plays. They were able to drive the ball and use the run effectively during their last possession. They tried to go up for the touchdown on second down, was not able to convert again on third down, and obviously had to go for it on fourth down. The 2 passes were incomplete, and West Deptford took over, but it was the drive, the run game that set up them with a chance to score.
Shotgun formation. Wilczynski looks to be setting up, and he'll be flushed out of the pocket, but he'll go down the sideline, and he'll pick up about 6. More than enough for the first down. And Wilczynski showing a little bit of what he can do.
Well, not only him, but the offensive line. Nice protection there from the offensive line. Give him the opportunity to see and find somebody downfield. Wasn't able to find it. Seen the open field in the space. Knew he can get the first down. That's just a good decision. Try to move those sticks. Move the chains.
First down and 10. Overbrook trying to mount any type of drive here. Just inside the Eagles' 35-yard line. Clock down to 1:33 in this first half. Once again, shotgun formation. It's worked well for the Rams. Wilczynski looks to set up a screen. Again, being flushed out of the pocket. Eluding tacklers. On his feet. Cuts it back outside. He'll have to beat Tom Walls. Outside on the 20. And cut from behind at the 11-yard line. What a run by Frank Wilczynski.
There you see the athleticism. Nice job by Denisi, the team's leading tackler, to come from behind. But here they're going to flush him left. I'm going to tell you why they should have flushed him right. The other side of the field is where it's really slippery. They flush him to the good side of the field. Wilczynski cuts it back and then uses that good speed to get downfield. And a nice job by Denisi coming from behind.
Shotgun again. Wilczynski throws, has a man. It's Stipik, and he is stopped at about the 5-yard line. So Overbrook, economical in this drive. Plenty of time, 56 seconds. Clock continues to move. They have 2 timeouts left. Shotgun formation again. Wilczynski.
Look for a running play here from Wilczynski.
Holds the football, has time, throws it, has a man, touchdown! Wilczynski threads the needle and finds his receiver, Justin Stipik, and Overbrook comes right back. It's 10-6.
Well, again, they needed the big play, and they went to their big play guy. Wilczynski with a nice throw to the outside. Perfect there for Stipik to come down with it, get into the end zone, and put points on the board before the half.
Overbrook's kick is up, and the kick is no good. Well, we mentioned before that this Overbrook kicking game, a real thorn in the side of head coach Mitch Brown throughout the season, and we see it here once again with 38 seconds left. That could come back to bite him.
But again, Wilczynski put the ball in the guy's hands, let him run around a little bit, make some plays. West Deptford was able to get the rush on him, but sometimes that can be your own worst enemy when you have a guy like Wilczynski who can break through there. Once he gets through that line of defense, with the great speed that he has, he sets him up for the touchdown and then caps it off with a couple of nice touch passes. There you see him in the pocket too. I don't know if you noticed this or not. He wasn't panicking. We've seen from the opposite side, Anthony Scarrato, when he set up his blocks, the patience there. Right there, you've seen Wilczynski, the leader of this team, coming back, dropping back in the pocket, real patient, real calm, knowing the clock's ticking down, finds the open man, and puts his team on the board.
You know, Mitch Brown said that we don't really have a kicking game.
No, they don't.
his best kicker is actually his long snapper. But you can't get him the football if you have no one to snap it, so they're forced to go to option number 2.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's the problem with your kickers, your long snappers. So what we've seen there is the guy seemed like he has enough leg. He just pushed it a little bit to the right. But again, like you were saying, that could come back to haunt him. When you get down there, you get maybe possibly a field goal, try to tie a game in a Group 2 championship, that can really come back to haunt you.
Well, squib kick here will pin West Deptford back in their own territory about the 29-yard line. And with 32 seconds left, it'll be interesting to see whether or not Clyde Folsom will be content to drop to a knee or try to pound the football.
They'll probably run a couple of plays here, but in speaking of the kicking game, a coaching staff has to know how important that is to a game. And right down the street, a small Group 1 school, not so many kids, you're not going to get those kickers like you might get in the bigger schools, is a school like Paulsboro. What does Glenn Howard do? He goes out and gets Dominic Antonini on his staff, a former NFL kicker, and makes sure that he puts in a guy that can elevate his special teams play.
Hand off here to West Deptford. And, of course, we saw this last year, Shawn, where Kingsway going up against Delsey, first down at the 1-yard line, essentially an extra point, could have won the game. No kicker to speak of. Delsey comes back and wins that.
Yeah, great goal line stand. Terrific game last season. That's right. Just, it's not finding somebody in school, trying to find somebody, maybe a soccer player, somebody convert them over into a field goal kicker.
No time left as a quick out to Tariq Howell, and that'll do it for the first half. An exciting first half. West Deptford scores the first 10. Overbrook comes back with a touchdown, and that's where we stand. We head to break. West Deptford on top, 10-6. Welcome back to West Deptford High School. Site of the Group 2 championship game. We're at the half. West Deptford on top of Overbrook, 10-6. West Deptford breaking out on top early, really pounding the football via Tom Walls, setting up 4 plays inside the red zone, and Jake Brownell finishing the deal with a field goal. That put West Deptford on top 3-0. Certainly will prove to be an edge throughout the evening, and we'll see. It was Frank Wilczynski who was setting up for a big 4th down deep in the red zone, and unable to hold on to the pass was Overbrook's Dan McDonald. Big play during a subsequent drive, ball thrown up, and Wilczynski and Stipik, a 50-50 ball, wrestling with the ball, both of them. Referees rule that it is West Deptford who comes away with it, and Scarrato with a great run, tremendous vision, spins off a tackler, and busts in to put West Deptford on top by the score of 10-0. Overbrook, off of a great return by Justin Stipik, mounted a quick drive, and it was Wilczynski threading the needle once again to Stipik. And that's where we stand as Overbrook's point after failed. 10-6, your score at the half here at West Deptford High School. You can see the field covered in snow. Tim Camerata, the athletic director, along with Clyde Folsom, the head football coach here. Not to mention, of course, the grounds crew doing a great job to get this field in shape for today. We take a look at the West Deptford schedule. They started out strong. They absolutely mauled Gateway 56-0 and let up at the end. Collingswood, they put a hurting on, and it just continued throughout as they pounded team after team, yielding few points along the way. It was only Haddonfield during the course of the season with a pretty good team giving up any more than 2 touchdowns throughout the year.
They did that with the passing game, Rob. They were able to get some points on the board via the pass, and that's the way you got to kind of attack this defense. They're terrific against the run. There you see at Paulsboro 20-0. That just goes to show you that Paulsboro, again, for those fans, this is a team that was very young this year. They lost a lot. However, those young players are just going to get older. They started playing well towards the end of the season. And to lose to this good West Deptford team 20-0 really says something for their team and their future.
Well, one thing about Overbrook is they probably played a little bit of a tougher schedule than West Deptford. Kingsway, a tight one. Overbrook able to prevail 9-8. You see, Williamstown, they really put a hurt into them. We had them here
on Channel 5.
A nice Williamstown team, too, and they pounded them.
And Del C, Gloucester Catholic, and Deptford, their 3 losses. And head coach Mitch Brown says, you know what, that Deptford team is probably, he thinks, the best team in all of South Jersey.
And he could be right. I mean, Deptford really, they have the total package of speed on defense. One of maybe the best defensive player in Mike Green in South Jersey, along with Tom Walls, 2 terrific defensive players. Deptford just has the total package. Of course, we're going to be covering that Group 3 final as well against Hamilton, which should be a very nice game. But Deptford really has a senior leadership, and congratulations to Al Oreo, the horrific events that he had to deal with in the beginning of his football career. Coming off, I mean, he couldn't win to start off with. He coming off a championship season where they changed the coach and Joe Corby and Al Oreo, so it's nice to see him and his coaching staff get to the final when that program is exactly where, I mean, we talk about building a program. Al Oreo has built a terrific program at Deptford from top to bottom. That program there, the Spartans, should be a wheel that just continues to spin now. They're going to have good season after good season and be one of the top teams in South Jersey every single year.
There's no question Al Oreo, class act over at Deptford. He's really done a tremendous job. And speaking of tremendous jobs, Clyde Folsom has just been phenomenal here at West Deptford. He took over a program that really was hurting, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
I spoke to him about this, the tremendous success, and again, as typical of Clyde, he started to hand out kudos to everybody else. He said it's because of the community and the administration. He said we have a tremendous youth organization here that Steve Snyder really helps to put together, and it's because of them that his football program has really come full circle. We begin the third quarter. West Deptford, a low line drive off the foot of Overbrook, fielding it and having absolutely nowhere to go. And finally cut down for West Deptford is A.J. Bunton.
You know what, and a lot of people don't know this, but Clyde Folsom had to deal with a lot of changes the last couple of years. He lost a lot of assistant coaches and had to really take a lot of responsibility on himself. Took a lot of wear and tear on him, of course, took a little bit away from his family as well. He had more jobs to do. However, after doing that, still being able to do that, lose guys from the assistants and all that, he still was able to win a championship last year, and right now has a 10-6 lead in the second half away from his second straight South Jersey title.
Don't forget, Clyde Folsom was very close to leaving West Deptford High School and taking a job up at Seneca, a far larger high school in Burlington County. He opted to stay here, and I'm sure he's very happy about that decision, as is the West Deptford administration and community.
He loves the coverage here, Channel 5. They don't cover games up there. He just loves us. He couldn't get away.
It's funny, he didn't mention that to me. Second down here. Tom Walls on the carry to start this second half, much the way that West Deptford started the first. Scarrato again, this time with Walls with another setback. Scarrato have Walls with the quick hitter up the middle. And Overbrook making positive defensive adjustments, really shutting down the running game of Tom Walls here.
Yeah, they've really tried to key on him ever since he gouged them in the first possession, the first drive. He was able to run the ball down their throats. And Overbrook has really keyed on the inside run game of Tom Walls, and they knew they had to stop that. If they weren't able to stop that, forget it. It would be lights out for this team, especially here in the second half. If they can't stop that inside run, West Deptford will roll it up against them.
Quick pass, Scarrato has a man, and that looks to be enough for a first down, Jake Brownell. We think about Brownell merely as a kicker, but he's got a pair of pretty good hands as well.
Yeah, I think he's rated one of the top juniors in the state. And he comes out here, he's able to get the grab, hauled in for a first down, and right on the money is Scarrato. And Scarrato really possesses a lot of good qualities in a quarterback. He can pull it down and run on the outside when something breaks down. He has great athletic moves, but he also can put the ball in the air, as we've seen with a nice pass to Tariq Howell earlier in the game.
I don't know if we can get a shot of this, but you see there's like a cloud hanging over the field. I think that's from the barbecue pit that they have here at West Deptford.
Yeah, we talked about that in the last game. Everything just kind of like hovers over the field. In fact, we did one interview earlier in the year, if you remember this, and actually the guy couldn't even wait. He had the hamburger in his hand. He had to do the interview with the hamburger.
pitch, Walls going outside, cut down behind the line of scrimmage. Big tackle made here by Overbrook, and that looked to be Mitch Morrell.
Rich Morrell just coming on the outside, doing a terrific job. 6'1", 210, and he's just going to get upfield. That's what you're able to do. If you're able to get upfield, make the play as a linebacker, you're going to be able to do well. Rowan, Salisbury, Albright, a couple of schools looking at him. There you see that. That's just hamburger right there. That's just hamburger, just
now,
that smell.
From the look of it, you think we're
like
like in Mile High Stadium. We get the cloud cover.
That's not the snow, yeah.
Mitch Morrell, very quick off the ball, undersized, and he's someone that head coach Mitch Brown really raved about. Scarrato, big drop, setting up the screen. He's getting a rush now, and he has a man still on his feet. And finally brought down, and ball comes loose, but I believe that the whistle may have blown.
No, they didn't. You know what? They didn't blow the whistle there. They're going to mark the ball where it was fumbled and recovered by West Deptford. That's a late whistle. Right now, if I'm Clyde Folsom, I'm just glad to get that ball back, but I'm hollering into the stripe saying, you're blowing the whistle way too late there. The guy's down, comes from behind and pushes the ball out of, Maxwell's arms.
Well, look to be Maxwell who came away. That's a huge drop by Scarrato. That's just way too much.
Scarrato drops back, going to find Maxwell. Maxwell does a nice job just making a couple of moves there. Young. A couple of moves there, rips out of one tackle, goes upfield, and you can see what a great athlete he is.
What was even more what was more impressive, he wasn't down.
No, I stand corrected. He was not down.
Back to live action. Scarrato has a man, underthrows Tariq Howell. Tariq Howell wide open, and Scarrato with a rare miss.
Tariq Howell, you're right, he was wide open on the side, and right now Folsom howling at Scarrato.
He's saying, listen, you got to lead Tariq Howell.
Well, he had him absolutely wide open. There was nobody within 20 yards of Tariq Howell. A missed assignment by the Overbrook defense. They're going to get lucky here. It forces a punt from West Deptford and Jake Burnell.
I think that was a case of Scarrato trying to aim the ball as opposed to throwing it. That's something we talk about in baseball, of course, all the time. Fourth down, Brownell will punt it away, and it's a pretty good one. Coming on to receive Overbrook and pound it immediately. I'll tell you what. You have to give the Overbrook receiver some credit, but I tell you what, he paid a heavy price. There you see Stippick getting up.
Well, Stippick's had a couple of great returns, and here C.J. Marina just pounds Stippick into the grass. But it was earlier on, C.J. Marina went for that fake, and he's just taking that little revenge right here.
Well, that's a helmet-to-helmet collision right there. That's basically a light automotive crash. Well, Overbrook couldn't have started this second half in a better way, getting West Deptford to punt it away here. 8:06 left in this third quarter. Eagles on top, 10-6. Wilczynski, a late pitch, and a pickup of about 2 or 3. With Shawn Maws, it may have been Hale. Second down. What about 7 for the Rams?
And we were telling that was C.J. Marina. That was actually Ron Wilson who came down and made that hit. We were going to get that right because Ron Wilson came up with a big tackle there.
Wilczynski, a late pitch to Lomax. Lomax, if he was able to keep his feet, was well on his way.
Well, that was only a couple of yards, but that was a nice move, a dangerous move by the quarterback as he's being wrapped up. But you can see Wilczynski here. Just has great moves at that quarterback, great skill. Knows he's getting tackled there by Wilson and pulls it out for maybe 2 yards.
Really illustrates the athleticism of the quarterback, Wilczynski. So a long third down here. Overbrook has been relatively unsuccessful on long third downs. Of course, Wilczynski throwing 1 interception already this evening. From the shotgun, a straight sprint draw, penalty flag down. Wilczynski cut down, and he'll be short of the first down. We'll see. May have a procedure call here.
Yeah, West Deptford's clapping their hands. It looks like it's going to come back. That's decision time. Well, obviously,
legal motion
decline
against
it, right?
Overbrook. I would decline it.
Decline it, force the punt, get the ball back with a 10-6 lead. 6:37 left.
Wow.
Illegal motion. Offense, decline.
It's a lot of feedback. That's more than what you usually get after a broadcast, Shawn.
No. Actually, no. I get more.
Okay.
And it's not usually positive feedback either.
Overbrook here to punt it away, and it is Scarrato back to receive. Just getting it away.
Wow.
An excellent punt. Scarrato will watch it bounce inside the 10-yard line all the way down to the 7. What a bomb by Wilczynski of Overbrook. That just illustrates how important special teams are.
Nice job by Wilczynski. Now West Deptford pinned back. It's going to be interesting to see what they come out with. Now Overbrook taking away that inside run game of Walls. In the second quarter, they were trying to exploit the outside and try to use Maxwell and Young. Do they go back with Walls and try to pound it again inside with him?
It's about a 59-yard punt by Wilczynski. Deep in their own end, the West Deptford Eagles will start 1st and 10 here in the third quarter. 6 minutes and 12 seconds remain. Don't be surprised if they pound and try to soften up this defense with the Tom Walls show. Hand off Walls, on his feet, cut down. They'll pick up about 3 or 4.
And right now, Overbrook's doing a nice job of just shooting the gaps, and that's what you have to do. You're undersized. Use your speed. Get those guys shooting the gaps and taking away that run game. Hopefully you meet the ball carrier, and they're doing a nice job against Walls. You're going to see them right here come in and just use their speed. Nice job taking down the big guy. One of them, Brandon Music. Defensive tackle in on the play.
Yeah, inside handoff and cut down after Overbrook defender torpedoed in to cut down.
Yeah, it looks like it was Pfeiffer doing a nice job of just coming in and filling the holes. He has good closing speed. Watch the linebacker come here. Young's going to get the carry, cut back in inside, and then all of a sudden he's going to be hit by Pfeiffer. And again, Pfeiffer getting low, using the speed to get to the football and forcing a 3rd and about 4 here. This is a big play for Overbrook after the big punt.
No doubt
try
about
to hold West Deptford, keep them in good field position.
This would ensure good field position. Here's Scarrato on the carry. He'll have enough for the first down. Scarrato, and he'll pick up about 6 yards.
And that's a great play call by Clyde Folsom there. We're not too sure with 3rd and 4, are they going to come out and pass? Are they going to try to run? Use that ground game with Walls. He's good for 3 or 4 yards. Just pulling it down with Anthony Scarrato. Using those big linemen. Picking up a first down. That's a very important first down for West Deptford here.
Approaching the 4-minute mark here, left in the third quarter. Handoff inside Walls, into the secondary. Walls, he'll pick up 11. The West Deptford offense starting to roll.
And here it's just a quick hitter right up the middle with Walls. The fullback's able to get the ball, run upfield, and another nice job of blocking.
I mean, look at the push of that West Deptford line.
As you said earlier, even somebody like me could run. I couldn't get as far as he could in that quick period of time, but
you could at least gain a yard there.
I could at least gain 1 or 2. There was nobody in sight for Overbrook. That interior offensive line for West Deptford has done a really nice job tonight. And again, just keep pounding Walls, because Overbrook should wear down as the game progresses.
Tom Walls again, right up the middle. He'll pick up about 2, 2nd down and 8. Well, we spoke before about Tom Walls. Again, he's on his way to Boston College. Kind of interesting because Boston College, of course, leaving the Big East, and they'll be headed to the ACC, really denying Tom Walls the opportunity to play in this area, but he really felt comfortable with the school, and he wanted to play defense in college. That was one of the reasons that he went on to Boston College, but certainly an offensive threat. 28 touchdowns coming into tonight, 168 points leading all of South Jersey. Scarrato, handoff inside, and again, a little trickery there as Cordell Young finding the football in his arms.
I think it's a real nice decision for Walls. They have a lot of linebackers moving on from Boston College, which will give him an opportunity to play very early in his career. And you go into now what will be the ACC, one of the best conferences of football, if not the best. And you see some of the top players. You see Tom Walls with 28 touchdowns this season, leading all ball carries. And Frank Hale's at the bottom of the list. See Chris Presley mixed in there from Woodbury with 21 touchdowns. Jesse Cooper, 19. And then Frank Hales again, number 10, with 17. Some good names on there. Shawn Green from Winslow Township.
I've had an opportunity to see almost all of those runners. And some very talented backs. I mean, one guy who's very underrated is Yari Cheeseman out of Eastern. He scored a ton of touchdowns, but that's an offense that really relies on the arm of the quarterback Oreo, but Cheeseman a big threat, and he's just a junior. Shawn Green, of course, arguably the top runner in South Jersey, a little bit lower on that list.
Now I know we saw Woodbury against Paulsboro wasn't able to do anything. West Deptford against Woodbury wasn't able to do anything. Really, guys, really blossomed into a real nice running back has been Chris Presley, and what a great year and career he's put together for the Thunder. They're going for a Group 1 championship against Shawn.
Tom Walls, again, picking up about 3. A very generous spot.
And you were talking earlier about the winter sports season, and maybe there might be no coach greater than Shalleck's own Shawn Collins, and one of Gloucester County's prides and joys. Shawn Collins going to Shalleck, great coach, basketball coach for them. And he's got Paul Galls and Jeff Ware, 2 of his outstanding players, and they're going to be probably one of the top contenders in Group 1 coming back with that much talent. Both of those guys play on the football team. You can know that he's just praying for the season to get over and for his guys not to get injured.
Quick drop, Scarrato has Howe. Very dangerous pass as it was tightly defended by Overbrook, but Scarrato able to get it into Howe. Let's take a look. Again, the quick drop here from Scarrato.
Just a 3-step. He's going to go out to Tariq Howe with very good hands. A sure receiver for West Deptford. You know, what a year this young man's had. He had his father pass away earlier in the year. A very emotional year for him. He wears a bracelet on his left wrist in memory of his father. He also wears a SpongeBob sock over his left foot. I'm not too sure what that's for. But it's good to see the year that he's put together under the circumstances he's had to overcome. Nice season for Tariq Howe as a senior who doesn't get a whole lot of mention with all these great players around him, but certainly a key component offensively through the air and has had a terrific season defensively at corner for the West Deptford Eagles.
Well, you know, this drive has been something to see. West Deptford starting back on their 7-yard line after the phenomenal punt from Frank Wilczynski, but West Deptford really kind of manhandling the line of Overbrook, and they're accomplishing quite a bit here, not only wearing down that defense, not only putting together quite a drive, but eating up a tremendous amount of clock. Now, as we're about 35 seconds left, Scarrato's still on his feet, and Scarrato illustrating just some of the many things that he can do for this West Deptford offense.
But he's just a terrific runner. He just makes guys miss. And not too many guys you're going to see that's able to stand up pretty straight, run the football, and make moves like he does. This is just athletic talent. This is something you can't teach. Watch right here. Little move right here. Little move makes a guy miss. Another move, making a couple of guys have to tackle him to get him down onto the ground. This guy just a really terrific athlete who can make some moves, very shifty runner. And we've already seen what he can do near the goal line with a great spin and touchdown in the first half. West Deptford, what a drive. Took them on methodical drives from Clyde Folsom. This is one here.
Scarrato hands off the Walls, pick up a couple, and that'll be the last play of this third quarter. So a very, very quick third quarter after the punt by Wilczynski of approximately 60 yards. West Deptford mounting a sustained drive, and they'll still have the football when we come back from break. We're through 3 quarters here. The South Jersey Group 2 championship game. West Deptford leads Overbrook 10-6. Welcome back. Fourth quarter about to begin. South Jersey Group 2 championship game. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary 10-6, West Deptford on top in the midst of a long drive at the 24-yard line. Scarrato on the keep. He will sprint out, cuts it back inside. Scarrato spins, still on his feet. And Scarrato, just through his elusiveness, able to pick up about 4 or 5 critical yards. And that'll bring up a very short third down here for West Deptford.
Well, this is a terrific run. Sometimes, you know, the big run, the touchdown, you go through games. Oh, did you see that 50-yard run? Watch this run. You have 3 guys right now in front of him. 1, 2 guys miss. Right here, another guy tries to spin around. 2 or 3 extra yards. That's something right there that you just cannot teach. When you have 3 or 4 guys in front of you and you're able to make those guys miss the way Scarrato does, that just shows what a terrific back he is.
Right up the gut, Tom Walls pounding the defense. First down, West Deptford.
You know, this is a drive that champions make. This team was buried near their goal line after a great punt, and just play after play, moving the ball, moving the chains. Tom Walls, Anthony Scarrato, Tariq Howell doing a terrific job on this drive, and of course the offensive line.
You make a good point. I mean, you talk about the drive, of course, John Elway known for the drive. West Deptford not trailing here, but this is the drive because they are pounding Overbrook into oblivion. Tom Walls trying to bounce off tacklers, unable to do so here, as it'll bring up now 2nd down and goal for West Deptford.
You got to give credit to some of those guys, including Frank Hales, big number 55 there, Mitch Morrell doing a nice job after getting pushed throughout this whole almost 3rd quarter to come up and make a nice play there and drive Walls backward. We're talking a lot about Mitch Morrell. He's had a nice game here tonight. And those linebackers, along with Pfeiffer, you got to give them credit. Being undersized, still coming into this game and firing the way they are, it's kept Overbrook into this game.
Well, right now we have a breakdown in terms of the play calling, and Clyde Folsom will opt to call a timeout. A wise decision as Anthony Scarrato allows Clyde Folsom to come on. They want to make the right call. They'll do that, and we'll have it for you after this. West Deptford by 4. Welcome back to West Deptford High School. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary. 2nd down here, 4th quarter. South Jersey Group 2 Championship, 10 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. West Deptford calls the timeout. Play call in now, Scarrato. And handoff, it's Young, handoff, Cordell Young. No call on the field, and he'll be just shy of the touchdown.
Boy, is this a big play right now for Overbrook. Down by 4. They certainly want to force a field goal attempt by Brunel. They don't want to give up the touchdown with 9:53 left and going up against a very tough West Deptford defense. They need a big play. This could be the ball game right here.
What I like that West Deptford is doing right now is they're taking their time. They recognize that eating clock now is just important as eating clock later. 3rd down. Handoff. Tom Walls. Touchdown. Tom Walls. (16-6). West Deptford on top.
Now, these teams have been talking a little bit on the fans of these teams have been talking a little bit on the websites and all the chat rooms. The game has not had a whole lot of physical contact, but they're talking a little bit down there now. Walls getting into the end zone, and this is just about desire, trying to get over that line to get into the end zone. Walls sees a little bit of a crease, runs up into it, just the power, forces him into the end zone, and West Deptford now going up by 2 scores.
Brownell's kick is blocked, and a penalty flag down, and we'll see exactly what the call is now. Another penalty flag, so a lot of laundry on the field. More flags there, Shawn, than your report card.
Yeah. That's not funny.
Bringing back some bad memories, huh?
Yeah, that's sort of.
Sore subject.
We'll skip. No comment. Looks like it's going to be on Overbrook. What a drive. What a terrific drive by West Deptford. The
illegal motion on the offense. We have a personal foul on the defense. We will replay the down.
Be interesting to see what the personal foul was. So Brownell will get another opportunity here to try to extend this West Deptford lead to 11. And now you have the Overbrook coaching staff begging for an explanation. Not sure what the problem is exactly. The referees hope to straighten it out here. Well, we'll get it all straightened out as the crew will head over for an explanation.
You're going to see the Overbrook guys jump, and I think you can't. What he did right there is he jumped over one of the guys and used him as a crutch to get up under there. You can't jump on somebody's back. And I believe right in the middle of the screen, you're going to see it there. Jumps over the guy, uses him it's almost like a step ladder. Jumps on the guy's back. You can't. You're not able to do that, and that's why they call.
I think you're allowed to use the opponents. You're just not allowed to use your own team.
You questioning me?
Nonetheless, Brownell's kick is good. West Deptford extends their lead to 11. It's 17-6.
Look, you stick to play-by-play.
Well, Jake Brownell, no doubt about that one. Clyde Folsom.
Just telling him, don't kick it to Stipping.
Well, that was last year. South Jersey Group 2 champs, Colonial Conference champs. And I tell you what, they're going to have to put a little 2 right after that S at the bottom, squared.
Yes, they are, because it looks that way, at least at this point, 17-6 with 9:29 left. And, this West Deptford defense, I know Wilczynski had a nice drive to end the half. This West Deptford defense we've seen in that schedule, they don't give up a whole lot of points. 20 points was the most they scored against Haddonfield. And you got to like West Deptford's chances.
Now, I don't know how they do it here. When I was at Gateway, we won a championship. We won a championship the second year. They wouldn't get us jackets the second year, so you already got jackets. Kids who didn't get a jacket the year before, you get a jacket. But a lot of my kids who had won the championship before, they don't get 2 jackets. They got 1 jacket. So what do you think? You think they get 2 jackets here?
I think they deserve it.
There's no question they deserve it.
Everyone's making money in West Deptford. They can afford jackets.
I tell you what, that man deserves it.
He certainly does.
He probably needs 2 jackets the size of that guy.
Yeah, he has had a terrific career, and you're right. I remember seeing him as a freshman in basketball.
Still
see how he's blossomed. Really a terrific story, and a nice job for him going to Boston College. Not only will he have a good athletic career, I'm sure, but he'll also get a good education.
Look at Lomax, and a diving tackle made by A.J. Bunton, and that's the type of effort you need to win a state championship. West Deptford able to trip up Lomax.
The 140-pound sophomore going to make a play, get his name called on Channel 5 in a Group 2 championship game, and it's all effort. Just going after the guy, making sure he doesn't get to the outside, is going after Lomax, the good speed. Just a nice play, going after the feet. That's a sandlot football there.
Now, I don't think Lomax would have went the distance, but he probably would have got to at least a 40-yard line.
Yeah, there were still guys that were coming from the backside. Let's not like he was going to save the tackle. There's no flag being wiped off, but a nice effort.
There was no penalty on that play.
One place that West Deptford has been susceptible throughout the course of the season has been against the pass. They do have Tariq Howe as a terrific defender, Scarrato in the back, but Haddonfield was able to move the ball using the pass. Overbrook's going to have to do the same here. They're going to have to try to get a couple of guys out on some patterns, move the ball quickly downfield, needing 2 scores.
First down, 10 to go for the Overbrook Rams. They trail, double reverse, Stipic, and staying home is the West Deptford defense. And Stipic able to pick up maybe 2 or 3.
That play just developed a little too slowly, and West Deptford was able to react to it, and also doing a nice job, linebackers staying at home, not buying the fake.
Well, I think you understand the play calling. You know, Overbrook needing a little razzle-dazzle here. They need to score quickly. This is not an offense that's going to be able to travel 80 yards in a short amount of time. They're going to have to score here, and they're likely going to have to eat up a lot of clock. And one other thing that they ate up that they really wish that they hadn't is a timeout.
See, those type of plays, reverses, those misdirection plays, they work when you got a lot of guys pursuing. And again, in the atmosphere you have here, West Deptford with a 17-6 lead, they're not pressing. They're saying, look, we're going to kind of play back a little bit. We're not going to go for the home run ball. They got guys playing back who can see the play develop in front of them and react to it. They're on a play like that. You don't have guys pursuing. Thus, you have an easy play by West Deptford.
Now, I tell you what, high school sports report, you have 2 of the finest talents in all of South Jersey. You got Mark Narducci. No one knows sports like Mark Narducci.
Nobody.
And then you have John Mondelli.
Good-looking guy.
Great-looking guy. I tell you what, you know, when we do a football game.
There's Mark.
When we do a football game, every single time I come up the stands, do you know John Mondelli? Do you have any pictures of John Mondelli?
Pictures, yeah.
I'm tired of dealing with the women. John Mondelli, I don't know how his wife puts up with it.
Maybe back in the day. Nah, John and Mark do a terrific job. High
That
school
is Rich
sports
Fisher
report.
in the foreground.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 6:30.
Sports writer.
Great show.
And Mark Narducci, he does a tremendous job. Very, very knowledgeable. I mean, he is the dean of sports around here.
It's amazing what that guy knows and the history that he has wrapped up into his mind. He's like he's kind of like a freak a little bit, you know, like that stuff he does.
Of course, I have the pleasure of doing soccer here on Channel 5 with Mark Narducci. Always a pleasure. Mark with a great sense of humor, as does John Mondelli. First down and 10. Wilczynski back to pass, and they'll throw a long out pattern and just
Clyde Folsom.
not much there.
Clyde Folsom was wide open on that play. Hiring at Brownell is junior.
Now, is Mondelli going
to the outside
here?
Now, Wilczynski's going to float it out there, just trying to make something happen here. Gets a little bit under it a little too much. Folsom's thinking about it. Right now, they just have to have things. They have to make a couple of plays. They're going to need some of their big play guys to try and break one, and that goes into the hands of their quarterback, Wilczynski. Now, plenty of time still left in this game, 8:16. West Deptford's going to be playing back here. This is where send some guys out. The defense is a little soft. Allow Wilczynski to run around a little bit. Move the change. This is a good time for him to run on 2nd down and 10. Try and get some big yardage.
Wilczynski again out of the shotgun. Throw it has a man, and if he was able to hit him in stride, who knows? But despite that, a big pickup. Overbrook on the move.
Brownell's limping a little bit. He slipped on the ice, and now it's really cold right now on the on this field. And this whole ice thing in the middle of the field, it's really going to get slippery.
First down and 10. Overbrook out of the shotgun. Wilczynski getting flushed out of the pocket. Look at the moves of Wilczynski. He'll try to outrun the defense. Able to do so. Cuts it outside on his feet. Wilczynski. Great run. Frank Wilczynski knocked out at about the 35-yard line.
This guy can do a whole lot for you, just like Scarrato. See the socks? He's got them up. Finds a little space. Goes to the outside, a couple of moves, and this is just speed. You can't try to take the angle. You got to take the angle on him. He's able to run out of a tackle there and head upfield. And then, you know, when it is slippery conditions, that really favors the offense. Offense knows where they're going to go. The defense has to react to it, and that favors the wide receivers.
First and 10, shotgun. Wilczynski getting a rush again. Down the middle, has a man, just too much. Otherwise, Overbrook's Wes Stubblefield would have found himself in the end zone.
We'll credit Josh Nevin and Dom Liberto with the rush there. Maybe forcing Wilczynski to get rid of it before he wanted to. Watch the push here by the defensive line, and he has to get rid of it then, otherwise he's going to be sacked. Pulls the trigger, but he did have a man. Maybe a split second later, he could have made that play.
Well, again, we've seen what Wilczynski can do as the quarterback. He is very poised, despite getting flushed out of the pocket many times, able to create, and despite getting some pressure, stays in the pocket and delivers, that time just overthrowing West Stubblefield. Some confusion once again on the sideline.
Yeah, they're telling there's a couple of little kids, I believe, on the sidelines. Maybe they're asking them. They got to get back.
Older guy.
Well, that's a lot of awareness. It's a lot of awareness for the Stripes to be paying attention to people on the sidelines to see who's out there.
Well, we'll step away here. Fourth quarter action, 7:41 left. West Deptford by 11. Welcome back, second down and 10. Shotgun formation, trips right for Overbrook. Quick out. Stipik stopped, bounces off one tackle down the sideline, able to pick up about 6. Credit a fine effort there by Justin Stipik.
We're still unclear what that whole holdup was. I did my Led Zeppelin impersonation. I was dazed and confused.
For so
and
long,
I'm sure
it's not
for
true.
so long it's not true. I have no idea why they stopped that, but
it was like your whole high school career.
Oh boy, somebody might trip down the steps.
Don't worry, I'll save you.
Still unsure what's going on. We're gonna get somebody on the case.
Third down and 4. Overbrook, quick pitch, on his feet, driving forward. A big lick laid out there by little Jake Brownell.
Little Jake came up and leveled the ball carrier there. Brownell.
I'm not sure if we can get a shot of those helmets. You look at Jake Brownell's helmets. He got a lot of those little white stickers. Now, I don't know what they put on them here at West Deptford. What do you think? They put little eggs on there? What do you think's on that helmet?
They're footballs.
Oh, I think they're eggs. I think they're eggs. Yeah, because every once in a while you see like a little eagle beak coming out of there.
Yeah, the only egghead in this whole place is standing next to me.
That's not nice to say about the scorekeeper over there. He used to be a football coach. You could probably whip him.
Ain't no probably about it. That's a big mistake right there for West Deptford. On fourth down, drawing them off.
A dead ball, encroachment by the defense. 5-yard penalty.
Clyde Folsom's just got to be beside himself, just using the hard count. And then, remember I told you about the little things, Wilczynski. No bobble, not bobbing the head or anything like that. Just using that voice inflection to draw the guy offside. I talked about the little things that a quarterback becomes a good to a great quarterback. Wilczynski does those little things.
First down at 10. Wilczynski looks, has a man on the down and out. Still on his feet. Again, another first down here for Overbrook, and they are in hurry-up mode. 5:56 left. Still plenty of time in this football game for the Rams.
The one thing to their advantage, they've had close games. They've had to come from behind. As I said against Clearview, to come and have a drive at the end of the game within the final minute. They've done this before.
First down and goal. They have been so effective out of the shotgun offense. Quick sprint. Wilczynski cuts it back, and he's able to pick up 2-3 yards. Again, the drive continues here for Overbrook. Clock continues to move as we approach 5.5 minutes now. Again, they have enough time here, Shawn, that if they should score, they don't need to go for an onside kick.
No, they don't need to, but the one thing they will have to do is make a stop defensively. The way West Deptford was able to drive against them during their last possession, you got to at least think about that onside.
Wilczynski looks to pitch. Does. Into the end zone. Touchdown! Terrific run. Great pitch by Wilczynski, finding Frank Hales. Overbrook with the touchdown. Well, 17-12 here, and this is 2-point land.
great run by Hales there. Just second effort, using his strength to propel himself into the end zone, and they're going to get within a score now.
Look at this late pitch by Wilczynski finding Hales. And you talked about determination before from Walls. That's certainly the case, and that's why Hales is amongst the leaders in scoring in South Jersey.
Yeah, good second effort, and you're right. He didn't get on that list of number 10 for no reason.
Here's Wilczynski now. Again, pitch, and it's going to be a pass back to Wilczynski, and he is pounded. Well, Jake Brunell sniffed that out.
He doesn't want to be labeled as just a kicker. This guy can play some defense, came up on this drive and made 2 big hits.
Well, yesterday we saw the Philadelphia Eagles, David Akers, make a couple big hits, and Jake Brunell taking a page out of his book.
Now Overbrook, that's a big 2-point conversion that West Deptford is able to hold off the board. Instead of a 3-point game, it is now a 5-point game. Overbrook going to be forced to score a touchdown. Again, they don't have a kicking game really anyway, so if the roles reverse and it was West Deptford, they do have the kicking game with Jake Brunell. It's really a non-factor anyway for the Overbrook Rams. Most likely their other score would have to be a touchdown. Down 17-12 with 5:04 left here. It's going to be very interesting to see what Overbrook decides. I'm sure they're probably going to kick off and put their defense on the field and ask them to come up with a stop.
You can't ask for much more. A great game here for the South Jersey Group 2 Championship. Overbrook has certainly illustrated some tremendous resiliency, trailing throughout this game by 10 and 11 points.
Now, one thing that might be interesting that might factor into the decision is that slick field. There's a lot of ice. That ball will be slipping around a little bit. If you do go for an onside kick, expect it to go towards that ice, towards the left side of the field.
I would be shocked if they kicked an onside kick.
So would I. Just wanted to break it up.
Low line drive. Fielding it cleanly is Tariq Howell. Howell on his feet. And Howell will finally be stopped. And again, if you're a West Deptford coach, that's where you cringe, because it's that second and third effort where a lot of times you see players dropping the football. But credit to Tariq Howell, because he did a tremendous job, fielding the ball cleanly, just running north and south and picking up as many yards as possible. First down and 10 for West Deptford with 4:54 left.
And holding on to the ball. When you have second and third effort, those last couple of seconds where guys are ripping at the ball, you got to hold on for dear life. And you're right, Clyde Folsom right there, just I'm sure biting his lip, just saying, get down, get down.
Timeout here, West Deptford. And with that timeout, it'll give us an opportunity to step away. What a game we have for you. Stick around for the conclusion. Fourth quarter, just 4:54 left in the South Jersey Group 2 Championship game. And it's West Deptford on top, 17-12. Welcome back. West Deptford High School, 4:54 left in this one. South Jersey Group 2 Championship. Tom Walls on the carry. Tom Walls now is going to kick it into overdrive. Tom Walls is the type of player you want as a coach, because he can just take over the game just through his sheer size and determination.
Well, anybody who's maybe my age, a little bit older, can remember John Riggins. And you know, when Riggins had the ball in the fourth quarter and the Redskins had the lead, the game was over. John Riggins, Tom Walls, the same type of player. You get the ball in Walls' hand at the end of the game, forget about it. He's going to be able to get those yardage. That was a great timeout, by the way, from Clyde Folsom. I'll tell you why after this play.
Tom Walls again, and cut down. Looks like he'll be short of the first down. Looks like he may have gotten a healthy spot there. I spoke to Mitch Brown before the game. I said, how are you going to stop Tom Walls? He said, we're going to cheat. Is he going to sneak out another guy out there? Yep.
But talking about that timeout by Clyde Folsom, you know, a lot of people are saying, why don't you save your timeouts just in case Overbrook comes down and scores. He wants to win the game now, and he wants to make sure he tells his players, look, we got 4 minutes away from winning the South Jersey title. Don't get too excited. Make sure you hold on to the football. All the little things you're going to do to remind your team.
Now, Tom Walls, he does it all. In fact, look, he's going to help the referees a little bit right here. Okay? He said, listen, okay, coach, let me do this for you. About 6 inches short. That means give me the ball.
Let's hope that's what he was doing. He was squatting, too, you know. He was just checking out the ball. He's making sure that the refs are going to move it a little bit. He's a veteran, the senior.
He got a pretty good spot there.
He might have gotten a good spot.
To be honest with you, I don't think it's going to make a heck of a lot of difference if it's 6 inches or 20 inches. Tom Walls
expect to get the ball here.
Man, I'm taking Tom Walls here, and I like my chances.
Absolutely.
3rd down and 1. Scarrato. He'll take it. Scarrato looks like he'll have enough for the 1st down. Now this time, look at this difference in the referees.
You're right.
It looks like a big difference there.
We got a good line here. The referee on the opposite side of the field looked like he marked him a little bit further than the guy on the near side of the field. He's going to make the spot, and he may not have gotten it. That looked like it wasn't a good spot.
And now, I tell you what, if I'm Mitch Brown, I would demand a measurement. I tell you, these referees have done a tremendous job, and I certainly wouldn't want to question it. But why would you not make sure?
Yeah, I have no answer for it. I thought for sure they were coming up with another measurement, and I wasn't even sure that he got it. But evidently, 1st down, 3:20 left.
Again, Mitch Brown, a great coach of Overbrook, one of the class individuals in South Jersey sports. I mean, it was just fun to talk to before the game because he could not have been looser. I mean, he's just saying, it's just a football game. We're just out here having a good time. Anything big planned before the game? How are you going to get your players pumped up? He said, I'll probably tell them a joke.
Well, that's what you want. You want, as a head coach, you want to reflect to your team what personality you want to have coming into the game. If you're Overbrook, you have nothing to lose in this game. I mean, you come in, you're the underdog. A lot of people are expecting you to get blown out.
In fact, I said that to him. I said, you got to feel good about it because, nobody expects you to win. He said, I do.
Yeah, well, of course, we'll talk about that after this play. Nice job by Overbrook to drag him down again. Pfeiffer making a play. But you want your team to come out in a game like this and play loose, and pretty much they have been able to. They held a couple of times. They put themselves in position here with 17-12. Now they have to make a couple of plays. A couple of guys on defense are going to have to come up and say, look, we are going to have to stop right now, right here, and make a play. And you want your leaders, guys like Pfeiffer, guys who've been doing it during the game, Shaw, guys to make a play, maybe strip the football, but at least force West Deptford to punt and put that ball in your quarterback's hands.
Well, kind of interesting because we have 3:12 left. West Deptford just got the first time. Overbrook calls the timeout immediately after for the 1st down. Once again here, 2nd down, Overbrook calls the timeout once again. They burn a timeout earlier, remembering their own end, one that they probably would love to have back, undoubtedly would love to have back. They're out of timeouts here. Right. They use them relatively early, but again, I don't think it makes any difference. You want as much time as you can get. No doubt here that Overbrook needs to make a stop during this series.
All right, this is high school football. You need a minute and a half to get it downfield unless you can break one. So they want to stop them here now and force the punt now. They don't want to wait and use the timeouts later on when it's 40-some seconds left. You're just not going to move the ball down the field that quickly in this game at this level.
Overbrook out of timeout. 2nd down and a long 9. Again, handoff. It's Walls. Walls into the secondary. Walls. 1st down, West Deptford. And that's the play that'll break the Overbrook Rams back.
This is just Tom Walls. Clyde Folsom came out and was talking to his offensive line. He wasn't talking to the backs. He said, just give me some push. Give me a 1st down. Somebody go out there, put your helmet on, somebody block somebody, give me a 1st down. West Deptford obliging by their coach. Tom Walls picking up 12 yards on that play and a 1st down.
Well, if you're the Overbrook defense, you have to remind yourself this game is not over. Still 3 stops and gives your defense an opportunity, your offense to get the ball back. Quick handoff inside, and look at Walls with that powerful leg drive, pounding out another 3 yards.
We talked about John Riggins. Tom Walls hit 3 extra yards after he gets hit the 1st time. He just has those powerful legs, uses that big frame to go upfield. 2nd and 7 now, 2:16 left.
Right now, this West Deptford crowd just enjoying the atmosphere. Looks like West Deptford. Now the clock is stopped. I'm not sure. There's again seems to be some confusion down on the field. Will restart here. We are under 2 minutes. Clyde Folsom telling his quarterback, Anthony Scarrato, to take his time.
It was a little bit of a break for West Deptford. They get another 25 to get the playoff. Needs more clock.
Scarrato hands off to Walls. Walls again on his feet, and he's brought down. They'll be shy of the first down, but once again, the all-important clock continuing to roll.
This is the ball game. Overbrook's going to need a stop here. This is where you don't get cute or anything. You just try to play power football, try to shoot the gaps, make a play. You got to play aggressive and coach aggressively here on the defensive side of the ball.
I got to believe if you're Clyde Folsom, you gain a yard here on 4th down, you go for it as well.
Yeah, because you're at the 31-yard line. A punt's not going to do you much good. You try to go for it. Folsom now telling his guys to hurry up. He doesn't want to get caught for the delay.
Scarrato, handoff, Walls. Walls into the secondary, first down. West Deptford.
West Deptford is going to go on to win their second championship behind that guy right there. Tom Walls and company are going to win 2 straight and cap off an undefeated season with another championship.
You can see Clyde Folsom very pleased with what has transpired here tonight in the lineup. Overbrook player on the field, and that's the one thing that you hate to see, particularly at the end of the football game.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to stretch something out. Could be a cramp. But you have to look at this game, 17-12. What stands out in my mind was that drive. A great pump by Wilczynski pins West Deptford back, and the drive that they had in the 3rd quarter capped off in the the beginning of the 4th quarter for a touchdown. To me, that drive was this game.
Now they're getting the Gatorade ready, and on a night like tonight, it's not fun.
Nah, you got to even think about you might get clocked.
Now remember,
if you throw that
we'll
on
have
the
to
coach.
interview Clyde after the game, so Clyde might be calling out sick tomorrow. We got the thumbs up from the West Deptford coaching staff here.
He deserves a day off. Another nice.
This football season, the football season is already a very long season, but of course now with the snow, it's prolonged. And of course we still have more championship football for you tomorrow.
Another nice game plan by Clyde Folsom. Comes out in the 1st quarter, pounds Walls in the interior of that offensive line, taking advantage of the bigger offensive line, trying to weaken the Overbrook defenders. And as we saw in the 3rd quarter, it looked like they kind of wore down a little bit. West Deptford was able to come up with a nice drive. When they needed to, West Deptford was able to pick up first downs, utilizing that offensive line, running behind them with Walls, Scarrato, Young, and Maxwell.
I was going to say they have that Gatorade on ice, but tonight that's kind of redundant. Scarrato will take the last snap. He will fall to a knee. And Overbrook will fall to West Deptford. West Deptford High School is your South Jersey Group 2 champions. As the clock continues to run down, 19 seconds. Referees will check their watches. I don't think that they will have to take another snap. And it certainly looks that way. Overbrook will leave the field defeated, and there's the bath. Clyde Folsom.
Clyde Folsom, he saw that Gatorade shower coming. They got one of the assistants. There you see the fans, teammates, the culmination of a year's worth of work in winning a championship in South Jersey, and that is #1 for Gloucester County. Gloucester County has the ability to win 4 championships. In Group 1, they have Woodbury, Verschalek, Group 2 West Deptford wins the first round. Deptford will play tomorrow, and Washington Township will play in Group 4 against Eastern. Gloucester County's 1-0.
We just had the two coaches meeting at midfield. And Mitch Brown, the head coach of Overbrook, should be very proud of what his team accomplished. This is a team that has certainly overachieved, and a school that had a rare opportunity to win a South Jersey sectional championship in a third group. They've won Group 3 and Group 4, fall short for Group 2. Stick around, we'll have post-game interviews and a wrap-up. Once again, it was West Deptford winning here 17-12. They are the South Jersey Group 2 champions. We'll have the winning head coach and your player of the game right after this.
Welcome back to West Deptford High School. West Deptford, the South Jersey Group 2 champion, defeating Overbrook 17-12. Rob Christ along with the winning head coach Clyde Folsom. Coach, we joked a little bit before we hit air. We said this is getting to be a bit of a habit.
Well, I don't know if it's a habit or not. I mean, you kind of forget about the previous year and take each year for what it's worth. And again, we talked earlier about the pressure put on these kids to win all games and repeat. And our kids responded very well to the challenge this year. And again, I'm very proud of their effort, and I'm very proud of the program right now. And hey, next year's a new year, but right now we're going to enjoy this year.
Well, you talk about being proud of the program. You took over a program that was a little down and out, and you've really turned it into a juggernaut.
Well, a lot of people are responsible for that. A lot of, often people are giving me more credit than deserved, but our administration, past and present, and have just made a total commitment to wanting to get the program turned around. And the players, I mean, our players are working hard down in our youth organization and coming up as winners, and it's just a matter of us getting them in the right position and playing hard. And we've been very fortunate to have a good group of athletes come through.
Let's talk a little bit about tonight's game. Frank Wilczynski for Overbrook played a tremendous game, and one of his biggest plays was that 60-yard punt that really pinned you back. The drive that you mounted after that really took control of this football game and probably had as much to do as anything for your victory tonight.
Frank is one of the finest players in South Jersey. We knew that coming in. And that drive where our backs were against the wall, our kids responded in a way that it was either the game. And we put that drive together and stick it in the end zone. There's a pretty darn good chance we win the game. And it's not the first time we've done that in big games. I think that's the third time we've had a 90-plus drive in close games.
Before the game, we talked about the many things that your team does well. You said how competitive your team is, and it seemed that every time you needed a big play, your team seemed to step up, and you have to attribute that in large part to their competitive nature.
Well, we're talented. I mean, we're not hiding any of our athletes here. I mean, we have a great fullback. We have a good crop of halfbacks. Our receivers are outstanding. Anthony Scarata brings out run, pass option in all the time. So we have the weapons to make big plays. It's just a matter of getting them out in the open field and space and letting them do their thing.
Well, once again, I want to wish you congratulations. A fine season capped off an undefeated year for Clyde Folsom and the West Deptford Eagles. Any good coach will tell you that a team wins through a team effort, not through individuals, and I think our own Shawn Leary has just about the whole team with him right now.
That's exactly right. We got 5 stars of the game. I'm going to start off with the junior. Now, I wish we had the clip because you were the guy eating the cheeseburger the last time we were over here. And since you're the junior, we're going to see how hungry you guys are for next year. You have some guys coming back. Three-peat maybe next year. Talk about next season, what you have coming back.
Yeah, it's definitely one of our goals. Got a bunch of people coming back. Three starters on the line. Our line's going to be real good again next year. And coach is going to push us harder, and that's our goal.
Right. Now, Lonnie, you're one of the 3 guys that's coming back on the offensive and defensive line. That's where it starts, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, you guys, you have a couple guys behind you. I'm going to bring them in. Ron Wilson, who is one of the 2-way stars of the game. You get to hold the trophy this time. How good does it feel to have that in your hands?
Great. I really get to hold it last year. I was doing my little celebration, but this is a great feeling.
Now, this team does come back with some weapons next season. Since you're a senior moving on, tell me about next year. This team should still be pretty good.
Yeah, they got a lot of talent on there, young guys, offensive line is going to do great, and I wish them well for next season.
Well, congratulations to you, and we'll bring in our next lineman. And this guy didn't get much with us last time, Dom Liberto, the senior. And Dom, this has got to feel so good for you guys to come away with a win here.
It feels real good. I mean, this is one of our goals all season, and I think we definitely proved that we're a powerhouse in South Jersey right now with the team we got.
Now, you guys had the advantage with the size. You guys have much more size than Overbrook. You wanted to pound them early. You were able to do that with a great job early on. Did you feel during the game that they were kind of wearing down?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't really see it. They were kind of wearing down a little bit, but they had a lot of heart, and you couldn't tell. They were playing with a lot of heart, a lot of emotion. I give them a lot of credit for that.
Well, congratulations to you. And West Deptford, again, with a terrific line. That seems like the last couple of years, that's been able to spark you guys for long runs. Tom Walls, obviously you're going to Boston College, but right now at this moment, this has got to feel so good for you to lead your team to another championship.
This is the best feeling in the world. I mean, I got to give credit to my linemen and also to the halfbacks for blocking the whole game and keeping the dream alive to come out of here Group 2 state champions.
Now tell me to win a Group 2 title, what kind of preparation, how much work do you have to do? And you being a star on this team, a leader of this team, how much work did you put in?
Well, over the summer and the preseason and everything like that, the work ethic you have to have is so outrageous. And I mean, you got to bring all the younger guys along with you. They don't want to come every night for practice or for weightlifting, but you tell them, be like, listen, they got the Group 2. We had the Group 2 state championship last year, and that's what we're working for again this year. It's the best feeling in your life.
Now you started off the game with it was a heavy dose of Walls early on. Did you feel like maybe that wore you down at all during the beginning of the game, or how did you feel later in the game?
Nah, I felt fine later in the game. I mean, I think that took the heart out of the middle of their defense by me driving the ball, by our team driving the ball from maybe our 30-yard line all the way down, and then we got the field goal from like the 3-yard line. And that's our goal. That's what our goal was, to really take them out of their game early. And I feel that's what we did.
Now, Tom, congratulations to you on a great career. Good luck in Boston College. You have a lot of people in Gloucester County rooting for you here. Now, West Deptford, maybe even Paulsboro guys will now root for you once you get into college career. Everyone seems to rally around each other. Good luck to you in the rest of your career.
Thank you.
And it's got to save Tariq for last. Outstanding game, Tariq, not only on the offensive end with a great catch down there, but also defensively. You've had a terrific year. This has been a very emotional year for you, losing your father and then having to come back and play through all that. This has got to be a very emotional time for you.
Yeah, it is, because I just wanted to play this for my dad, because I know he's up there watching, so I wanted to make him happy. So whatever I can do to make him happy, I make sure I do it.
And I know you wear that bracelet on your left wrist, but now let's get a little bit light, because I know you got a SpongeBob. You got some SpongeBob sock on you. What do you wear that for?
I don't know. I just like it. Fashion. I had 2 of them on, but when I wore 2, I almost broke my ankle, so I took the one off and just kept one on.
That's a good reason to give it up.
Yeah.
Now, you guys have had a terrific year, 2 years winning this group title. Tell me about the preparation, what it takes to win a Group 2 title, and to have that confidence coming into this season.
It takes a lot of hard work, because we work real hard in the off season, and during the season we stay to practice late. We practice real hard, we weight lift, and we do a lot of stuff that other teams might not do all the time. So that helps us fight through the fourth quarter battles and get through the game and win it.
Well, congratulations to you, Tariq. The group, now this is 1-0 now. Will Gloucester County, your prediction, will Gloucester County go 4-0 and win all 4 group titles?
Yeah, I think so.
There you go. See, I knew you'd say group the 4-0. He's a Gloucester County guy. Great career. That was fun interviewing all 5 of those guys, because they were pumped up. They wanted to come on. This is their South Jersey Group 2 title, and you got to hand it to this program right now. Again, I was talking to the former mayor of West Deptford, Shields, and he said, look, they got a lot of guys coming back. There's a possibility of a three-peat next year with Anthony Scarrato coming back at quarterback.
No question about it. It's a team that has quite a few juniors, and they're going to be very strong. Obviously, they're going to miss Tom Walls quite a bit. I mean, he's the heart and soul of this team, and, every time I talk to people about South Jersey football, people up in Camden and Burlington County, I say, you got to watch this Tom Walls. He is something to watch. He is going to be a force, and I think there's no question about it that he'll be a force as a freshman or a sophomore at Boston College.
One of the things that you like about him is he makes everybody around him better. He's such a great talent, but you see guys that come up and make plays. When you have that guy in the middle, either be fullback, middle linebacker. Everybody around him seems to elevate their play because he has the ability to allow those other guys to make plays, those role players. And this West Deptford team had a lot of them on their team. They have a couple stars in the making, too. This team should be very good for years to come. Congratulations to Clyde Folsom, his coaching staff, and to West Deptford.
Yeah, Clyde Folsom has done just a tremendous job here. He took over a program that was really down and out and has made it to be a model in South Jersey. We mentioned before that he had other opportunities. He's sticking around here, and I tell you what, the people of West Deptford are very happy about that.
I'm ready for some hot chocolate.
I tell you, it was interesting because we were watching Tariq how you did that little interview. It looked like he ripped a page out of your playbook. Usually, most people don't know this, but Shawn wears the Garanimals every night before big games like tonight. But nonetheless, a great game altogether. West Deptford, South Jersey Group 2 champions for the second year in a row. Your final score here, it was West Deptford defeating Overbrook 17-12. For my director, Kevin Lamastra, my partner, Shawn, Leary, I'm Rob Christ. Thanks for joining us. Once again, your final score, West Deptford over Overbrook, 17-12, South Jersey Group 2 champions. Good night, everybody.